Hello, this is D, and I'm back with another video. Well, today I got some news on the Xbox Series X. Now, it appears that many outlets are starting to receive their retail Xbox units, and they're starting to put it through the paces. Now, some reports are coming back that the Xbox, it is blowing a lot of warm air out of the top vents. Now, some reports are that that air is pretty hot and that it can actually heat up a room. Now, of course, this is ammunition for many fanboys out there, and there are lots of reports now that the Xbox Series X is overheating. I see some posts where people are saying that they get an overheating warning, which is actually not true. That warning is also present on the Xbox One X. It's there to prevent the system from overheating. It's giving you instructions on how to keep the system cool, and that usually happens when you block one of the vents for about 2 hours. Nonetheless, we're getting lots of reports from people out there that the Xbox Series X is in fact pushing out hot air. Now, first of all, when you have a system that is as powerful as the Xbox Series X, in the compact design that it comes in, it's going to get hot, and that heat needs to go somewhere. Now, if you look at the top of the Xbox, they have a huge fan on the Series X, and it's going to take that heat that's inside the console and blow it out. Now, if you're seeing lots of warm air being blown out of the system, that means that it's doing its job. Now, the PlayStation 5 is also going to have the same thing, because if you look at the PlayStation 5, it appears to have vents all around the front, kind of up to the top of it, going slightly down the back. Now, these vents are also going to push out hot air. Now, unfortunately, there's not many of the press that actually have a physical PlayStation 5 unit in hand. Now, Sony over the weekend, they did have some controlled shows where they were showcasing the PlayStation 5. They showed a few games like Godfall. They also tested Astrobots, and this was just a really weird presentation. You had some of these guys blowing in the controller. You guys all have seen the memes. It was just really strange. Now, the point is, not many outlets actually have a physical PlayStation 5, so we don't know the type of heat that is being blown out of that console. Now, I'm willing to bet that that console is also going to extrapolate a lot of hot air out of those vents. Now, this is just a normal thing that occurs when you have a console in such a small form factor. Now, the PlayStation 5 is a lot larger than the Xbox Series X. They're also using some liquid metal apparently on the die to cool it, so I think it will be a little bit cooler overall, but I do still think you're gonna get a lot of hot air blowing out of that console. Now, those vents are there for a reason, so this is just normal. Like I said, if I have a GPU on my system, if I go to the back of it, it's going to be blowing out hot air. This is just the way it works. So people kind of running with this narrative that the Xbox Series X is overheating or that it's going to get very hot, it's just a bunch of nonsense. I've also seen some other reports of people complaining that the stand is not removable on the Xbox Series X. Now, if you look at the bottom of that console, there are some vents around that spacer. Now, the spacer is, unfortunately, you can't remove it from the system, so they're kind of encouraging that you have the system stand vertically. However, you are also permitted to have it on its side. Now, I think that most people are going to probably stand it up. On the side, it kind of looks a little bit bulky, but if you don't have the space, it is an option to put it into your entertainment unit. Now, like I said, the bottom is not removable, but there are some vents underneath that. I don't believe that Microsoft would create the Xbox Series X to be a system that runs very hot. Like I've stated many times in this video, the heat has to go somewhere, and it's going to go out of those vents. Now, overall, what I think is truly important is if the system is actually running cool and that it is quiet. Now, all reports are that the Xbox Series X is whisper quiet. We're in fact actually hearing over the weekend that the PlayStation 5 is also very quiet. Now, the PlayStation 5 design is a little bit different than the Xbox Series X. It's not as compact. It is a larger system. It has vents, like I said, over the front going down to the back, and I think the reason why they made it bigger is to ensure that that system doesn't overheat. And traditionally, Sony has kind of made really compact consoles, but they ran really hot and loud, and with the PlayStation 5, they've gone the other way. They've created a system that is bigger, and because it is bigger, it doesn't get as hot because of all the reasons I explained, and of course, it's not going to be as loud. out. Now, I'm going to say this on the record right now. The PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X, both of them are going to blow hot air out of their vents. What is important is the sound, the acoustics of the system when the console is on, as well as the temperatures that are inside the system. Those are the most important things. And we're going to get all of those results when the consoles come out and we get a teardown from Digital Foundry and all of these other outlets, and they compare the components of the Xbox Series X to the PlayStation 5. Now, I'm excited to get these consoles in hand. We're just a month away from both the Xbox Series X and the PlayStation 5. It's going to be a great time to be a gamer. I'm also going to be getting in an RTX 3080. I can't wait to get that GPU into the channel so I can give you guys some of my thoughts on it, and of course test a lot of games on it. Anyways, I want to know what you guys think about the Xbox Series X overheating or blowing out hot air. Now, like I said, this is just normal operation for a console. It's going to have to get rid of that hot air, and of course it's going to blow it out the vents. This is kind of an obvious thing. Anyways, let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Like I usually say, please like, share, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys on the next one.